Hey guys, it's that nerd Ryan here with another Pokemon video for Pokemon Wednesday. Hope you guys are excited as I am, because this is a topic that I've been thinking about for a very long time. And it's something that I've always thought about, and now I kind of did the research, and I just wanted to start talking about it. So we're going to talk about each region's mascot, given if we were to focus on a certain region instead of using Pikachu as the mascot for Pokemon in its entirety. But first, before we get to that, I want to have you guys be sure that you go down there and subscribe. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the month. Let's try to reach that goal. Also, make sure you leave a like. Make sure that you also comment, because I will reply to your comments. So anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the video. So I do want to set a few ground rules. One is that we are not doing the Kanto region. Obviously, it's because it goes between Pikachu, who is sitting behind the camera, she's recording it, and Eevee, which, by the way, this is Raffi. She's my pet since I can't actually have pets, and she's adorable. But yeah, so between Pikachu and Eevee, those are the mascots. I'm also choosing 2 mascots per region, so that way we can choose between 1 or 2, and then your rival would get the other one if they were to make the game. We are not going to be choosing legendaries, obviously. We are not going to be choosing starters, and we are not going to be choosing anything that is not a base form, as well as we are not using Pikachu clones as well. That's just because we're going to try to treat this as if instead of Crystal, Emerald, and Platinum and so on, instead of them using a third legendary, instead they're using a third Pokemon that would be that mascot. So obviously we have Pikachu for Kanto. So since we have Kanto covered, let's go to Jodo. Now, I used 2 websites to use this, which was, or to research this, which was thegamer.com and ranker.com, to figure out each generation's most popular Pokemon. Then what I did from that was remove the legendaries and remove the starters and everything that was in the rules, and then try to go from there. So for Jodo, our 2 most popular were Paloswine, which makes no sense, and Azumarill, which would leave to Marill. So obviously you do have to downgrade the Pokemon to their base form before going on. So that would leave Marill and Swinub. There was one other Pokemon that outranked that, being Scizor. So obviously Scizor evolves from Scyther, which is a Gen 1 Pokemon, so we cannot use Scyther for that. However, Swinub and Marill were the bigger ones. Most likely, if you could only choose a Pokemon out of those 2, it would be Marill. Now, Marill is sort of a Pikachu clone, but at the same time, it is not, just due to its typing and everything like that. We will bring that up later in one of the regions on why something would not fully be considered a clone of Pikachu. But in this, it would be Marill versus Swinub, and most likely you would have Marill. So let's go to Hoenn. Hoenn had basically the same issue, where the first 6 were either legendaries or starter Pokemon, so I had to go from there. And we have Ralts and Aron. I also, in this region, factored out pseudo-legendaries, because there's a lot of pseudo-legendaries that were beating out Pokemon, and I feel like that as your starter would be very unfair. So, Ralts and Aron it was. And Ralts would outbeat Aron as your starter in that. Mainly because that's Wally's starter. So let's move on to Sinnoh. Sinnoh, again, with a lot of the same issues, but we have one of the most popular Pokemon in the entire series in this region. That being Lucario, who would be in this Riolu. The other option would have to be Shinx, which is the other, Luxray's the other most important Pokemon in the Sinnoh region. So between the two, you most likely would be choosing Riolu as your companion Pokemon. However, this is very split considering a lot of people love Shinx as well, myself included. So next we have Unova. The Unova ones, again, were very, very tricky. I had to use actually like both websites to check, and then since Gen 5 has so many legendary Pokemon, basically the first 10 out of the 15 were legendary. So the choices were Zorora and Duramitan, which would be Dormammu. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. But yeah, between those two, obviously you would probably be choosing Zorora. So next would be Kalos. Kalos is a interesting region considering that there's not a lot of Pokemon compared to the rest. And a lot of the Pokemon that were popular were starters or pseudos. So out of that, you have the choices of Hawlucha and Flabebe. Now, I chose Flabebe because of the Floette, AZ's Floette, which was kind of very important in the game. It's also an original fairy type from the Kalos region, making it being one of the first fairy types you encounter. And Hawlucha is just one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. So my choice would be Hawlucha, but I feel that Flabebe would be the main choice in that. Next is Alola. Alola was very tough for me when I was looking through, because again, a lot of legendaries, a lot of Ultra Beasts, yet we had the choice of Rockruff being another starter. So Rockruff, not in the game, but just out of popularity, Rockruff being another starter. And also, another choice would be Mimikyu. Now, I know that some people might think that Mimikyu is a clone of Pikachu. However, in my opinion, due to its lore and everything, it's definitely not a clone. We also have Dedenne in that region, which is the true Pikachu clone. So between the two, you'll most likely have Rockruff as your starter, and your rival would have Mimikyu. Or it would be Let's Go Rockruff and Let's Go Mimikyu. So finally, we get the Galar region. The Galar region, fairly new. We don't know who's really popular yet. It hasn't been that much of an impact, even though the games are about a year old. Again, we're excluding legendaries, so anything from Crown Tundra and anything from Isle of Armor is excluded. Also, I forgot to mention with the last region, we are not doing regional variants, just because they are originally from other regions. So, what I figured what the two most popular Pokemon are Snom and Toxel. Don't shoot me here. Do not shoot me here. I think Toxel would be your starter. And that's because Snom, even though it's popular, even though it's the best Pokemon ever, is kind of useless. So is Toxel. But Toxel is an electric type, Pikachu is too. So that's why I chose it. Okay, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. So that is every region's mascot. So let me go through that again, which the ones that I think would be the major mascots. So for Jodo, we have Meryl. For Hoenn, we have Ralts. For Sinnoh, we have Riolu. For Unova, we have Zorora. For Kalos, we have Hawlucha. For Alola, we have Rockruff. And for Galar, we have Toxel. Hope you guys like that. If you have any other better ideas than me, make sure you leave a comment down there and tell me, and I'll tell you what I think. I always plan on responding to comments. And again, make sure you subscribe, because we're trying to reach that 100 subscriber mark by the end of the month. And I'm recording this a month ahead. I'm only at 50 now, so I don't really know where we're at. But come on, guys. It's almost close to the end of the month. We got halfway to go. So, yeah, make sure you guys do that. And it's that Nerd Ryan signing off, telling you all that we're all Pokemon masters on the inside.